Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to do a little bit of a product review as kind of an unboxing slash review. It's not so much an unboxing in the sense that I've actually already unboxed it. So I took a couple of videos of the box itself and I took a video of it installed in my system and what it looks like. And we're just going to have a little bit of a talk about it. This product in question is a CPU cooler. As you can tell, it's a 360 radiator cooler. So it's got obviously three 120mm fans with obviously, and it's classed as an AIO. The one in question is made by Aerocool. It's called the L360 Mirage. The Mirage stands for obviously the indications or the holographic style sort of centers where it sort of seems to just continuously go on. I think it looks pretty cool, if I'm perfectly honest. And to be honest, the only reason I'm doing this review is because I tried to look for other reviews about this product before I bought it. And every single where I looked, there was absolutely nothing. So I sort of took a chance with it, bought it. And you know what? It's been absolutely fantastic so far. It keeps my CPU incredibly cool. I'm going to just show you the score that I ended up with on Cinebench. Obviously, Cinebench being, which is the R23 version of Cinebench. And the only reason I'm going to show you this is the score I ended up with. And I'm going to tell you the temperatures associated with each score individually. And then you can sort of judge for yourself. But yeah. So Cinebench is obviously a platform to test your CPUs to basically the fullest extent because it maxes out your CPUs and stuff like that. And as you can see here, the orange score indicates what I'm currently running. So it's just basically a 3.7 gigahertz, no overclocking as such. The only overclocking that I've allowed within it is I've told basically precision overboost within the AMD, obviously because it's an AMD Ryzen 5 900X. So I've told the precision overboost to basically draw less power and stuff like that. So essentially it is kind of like undervolting it, but it's not an official undervolt as such. And yeah, the score I ended up with was 21974, which overall is pretty decent in my opinion. And the temperature that basically the maximum temperature I got, bearing in mind the room I was in at the time had an ambient temperature of 26 degrees. So you can sort of judge where that sort of lies. And then the temperature I ended up reaching on the full load after the 10 minutes, because that's how long it sort of lasts for the Cinebench stuff. The maximum temperature I reached on this test in particular was 66.7 degrees. Unfortunately, I haven't got that sort of stat on me, but it was 66.7 degrees, which is incredibly good. Obviously, a lot of that was to do with the undervoltaging and letting basically Precision Boost do what it needs to do. As and when I monitored it, it basically sort of peaked and sort of locked itself in at about 4.4 gigahertz in terms of, you know, the CPU clocks across all cores, which pretty much is why it ended up with a lower score than what I'm going to go on to next. The score above it is a 4.6 gigahertz lock. I locked that at 4.6 gigahertz at 1.33 volts. And as you can tell, obviously significantly better score, 22697. So you're looking at a 700 score difference. But the top one definitely ran hotter. So this better score, that one was running at about 82 degrees. Again, room temperature was exactly the same. I did these tests about half an hour apart to let obviously the CPU and sort of the room to cool down. As well, I say cool down, but certainly not overheat. So I turned everything off and then I restarted it with these new settings, and then I basically ran it again. And it basically ran at 82 degrees, and this is the score I ended up with, all locked at 4.6 gigahertz. So there's definitely probably a little bit more I can, well, there's definitely more I can push out the CPU. and the cooler can definitely take more. The room was quite hot on the day as well, so that might obviously skew the scores as such. But overall, I think this CPU is definitely something to look at. At the moment, it's on sale where I bought it from, AWD IT, for £75, and it's definitely classed as one of the lower end sort of coolers. But I think it's definitely worth your time if you're in the market for a new CPU cooler. Definitely worth looking into, as it's quite cheap, but it definitely does the job, which is essentially what you want it for. You just want a cooler to do the job that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, because it's not it's not a huge brand, but it's definitely good enough to do the job. Its build quality is not overly amazing. It's definitely not bad, but its build quality is not amazing either. But then what do you expect on a 70-80 pound CPU cooler, AIO? So take that with a pinch of salt. And obviously at full load, the fans do run relatively loud. But then again, they do run at over 2000 RPM also. So that sort of compensates the fact that they run loud. Anyway, this is going to be a little montage put in now about the box and what it looks like in my system personally. Hope you enjoyed this video. Little sort of review as such. A little talk about this CPU cooler. Because I think it's very good for what it does and what it is. And I feel like it needs a bit of a sort of, a little bit of a review to put out there, so that if people are in the market for it, they can definitely find it, and hopefully it helps you, make a suggestion about it. Obviously, it's my opinion. I've got no graphs or anything. I do apologize, but I'm not in that type of line of business. As you can see by my channel, I just thought I'd put this out there just in case you were in the market for something like this. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Enjoy the montage. Bye-bye for now.